ダメだねダメよダメなのよあんたが好きで好きすぎてどれだけ
Oppa Gangnam. Oh, no. I fucked up. I tried to say Gangnam, I think.
Oppa Gungan style.
Oppa Gungan style. Welcome to WoW Cool Gungan. I'm your host, Jar Jar Binks. Welcome to Oppa Gangnam. God damn it. Oppa Gundam style. Jesus Christ. Sorry.
That was good. Got it in one.
Got it in one. Welcome to WoW Cool Robot. It's a Gundam podcast. I'm your host, Sarah. I use she, her pronouns.
And I'm Max. I use he, him pronouns. It's Gungan time.
It's Gungan time. It's time to go like Charlie Chaplin across a big CGI battlefield.
Call me the white boss nass. Gundam is a good show, Sarah. You're liking this so far. From a little birdie told me.
I'm quite enjoying this show is the thing. I'm finding it quite good, and I'm also just because like the thing is there are some people in the chat in the Discord who have been watching ahead, which obviously I don't go for it. I would be doing the same if I could. And I've seen a lot of posts about episode 21 specifically, which I feel like is an early time to in a what is this, like 52 episode series?
This is I think it's 50 flat.
Yeah, 50 in like a 50 episode series. I feel like 21 is like, for the way people are reacting, I feel like that's very early for a character death to be that impactful. So I'm feeling like the only way a character can die in episode 21 and be that impactful is if they are there from like the start. So I mean, like, I know a lot of these characters are going to die. I'm sure of it, but like I'm trying to like ferret out like who's going to be the one that dies, like who's going to be the one that dies then.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, this is all to say, I'm trying to keep these kids at an arm's length because I do not want to get too attached to them and then cry when they die. But I'm having a really hard time with it.
I'm handing you a cornucopia of beloved children. I ask, do you care them? And you say yes. And I write something down in a little black book and nod and smile and say, very good, noted.
That's what that GIF emoji K posts all the time is.
Yeah.
just writing down Gundam kids in the Death Note.
Yeah. God, it's like there's a spot in the owner's manual of each Gundam that you can write your target down. It helps. It helps on the battlefield.
Right. It's like how Errol Flynn in Mortal Kombat, like one of his supers is like he shoots a bullet with like the opponent's name inscribed on it into the opponent.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. He'll like shoot a gun and it's got like Scorpion written on it, like engraved in the side of it.
It's fucking, I mean, pretty fucking badass.
Errol Flynn fucking rules.
Errol Flynn, was he introduced in 10?
Not because 9 was the first one back, right? That was the first like reboot after the Deadly Alliance, the 3
Yes, because it was just Mortal Kombat.
So yeah, I think it was 10 because 9 had a really not like expanded, but like
it was weirdly big for a reboot.
Yeah, and then like I feel like they narrowed it down in the next game. I mean, after DLC, the next games did become bigger, but like that Mortal Kombat 9 roster is huge.
Yeah. I don't think Errol Flynn was there. I mean, like, you introduced both Errol Flynn and D'Vorah in the same game. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think Errol Flynn was 10 because 11 was the one with like Chronica, right? And
11 was Chronica. 11 smoking that Chronica.
Which one? Pharaoh and Tor was 10.
That was yeah.
Pharaoh and
Ice Climbers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Errol Flynn was 10, and then Kotal Khan was 11 also.
Kotal Khan was 10, I believe.
Was he? Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right. Who else was introduced in 9? Like, who were the new? Were there any like new characters in 9? Because I know 9 was just like a rehash of 1 story wise. Freddy Krueger was in that. That was a new guy.
Yeah,
Scarlet.
9 was when they went like full cinematic mode on us.
I frankly love the. I love the Mortal Kombat character edition so much because it's. I don't want to sound like I'm trash talking Smash when I say this, but it really does feel like Smash Brothers for adults. Like, it's just like, instead of being like, oh, it's Sora, oh, it's Terry Bogard. And like, I loved when Sora and I loved when Terry were added to Smash, of course. But like, oh shit, it's Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, you can't play as the Xenomorph in Smash Bros.
Tragic. I mean, you can play as Ridley. Basically the same thing.
Shit, and that was in
Like,
Ridley,
Ridley was
as we all know, named for
was it-
Ridley Scott, director of Alien.
Right, was it? Yeah, exactly.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Well, thanks for tuning in to. I spent this entire time trying to think of like a podcast FGC pun name, but I just got nothing. You want to talk about Gundam, Sarah?
Yeah, I want to talk about Gundam. Well, now I'm just thinking about the Injustice DLC characters that were added to those games.
Oh my god, like fucking TMNT Hellboy.
It's so funny that TMNT
Insane.
was added to that one.
I love that
yeah.
shit.
Let's talk about Gundam.
Let's talk about Gundam.
Episode 4. I wrote this one down, but I did not write this down here in my notes. Let me find it real quick.
The Price is Right.
The price of rice. The price of life. Tekkadan are planning their first major job, getting Kudelia to Earth. But Toto, the man with the Charlie Chaplin mustache, has other plans. In preparation for the trip, Orga sends Dexter Colostor, Akihiro, and some other human debris, freshly freed from their contracts, to handle some paperwork. We also learn about what the human debris are from both. We learn that from both Akihiro and Kudelia. Back on Earth, Mikazuki, Biscuit, and Kudelia and a couple others head to Biscuit's grandma's farm, where they have a chance encounter with Farid and Baldwin. Char and Garma, the Blowjob Brothers, also deal with Lieutenant Coral and all the lies he's been feeding them. When the Granny's farm crew returns to base, some of the younger kids have covered the CGS logo with the new one of Tekkadan.
They really are the Blowjob Brothers.
The Blowjob Brothers, they're showing. Listen, there's just a lot of very homosexual activity happening in these episodes. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying that, like, Mikazuki has some. I think Mikazuki has some bi boy swag, and I also think that Orga just has, like, men are attracted to me aura, because like obviously Mikazuki, which I'm going hard for them together, but also like there's some really good Eugene stuff in here with him.
Yeah,
very heterosexual Eugene stuff.
Like, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but like, are you beginning to care Eugene?
Oh, I care Eugene so much now. Like
he gives a terrible first impression, and then he says, "All right, I'm gonna do some cool shit now. Check this out."
Like, I was totally ready to turn on him gradually get better, but the shit that happens in episode 5 just immediately turned the corner on him, like, immediately.
Yeah, he says, "I'm Eugene Seven Stark, and this is Jackass."
I mean,
but episode 4,
he says you can't do this on concrete, and then does a flip.
But you can't do this on asteroid.
Right, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So that's episode 5.
Let's see. The boys are going to Akihiro and the gang. They go to get the CGS ship,
the Will of the Wisp.
The Will of the Wisp,
the ship that reduces your base attack power by 50%.
This is the promise and the threat, listeners. We will never not make a Pokemon reference in each of these episodes.
It's all I can think about. The other day, like a week or two ago, I went. I'm back to taking some ADHD medications.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in a while, and I took some way too late in the day, and so I was just like, and I also drank caffeine way too late in the day, so I was up until like 4:30 a.m. that night, just could not sleep, and I was just lying in bed, just like thinking about like Pokemon battle things. Like, literally, when I drive home from class or from work, I just, like, when I'm just driving home in my car for those 30 minutes, I'm, like, just rotating type combinations and what they're weak to, what they're resistant, what they offset for each other.
Yeah, you got the Tetris effect, but for Pokemon.
Yeah, I do. I just, like, I'm watching Fullmetal Alchemist, and I look at Alphonse, and I'd be like, well, he's probably weak to Dark and Ghost and Fire, but he's immune to fighting, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Using his metal body, he can destroy an ice type.
Yeah, exactly. God, Alphonse uses guillotine and just does the fucking falling elbow on someone.
Yeah, exactly. It's good. We also we learn a little bit that, like, basically they have to smuggle Kudelia to Earth. They can't sort of take her the normal ways because effectively Gjallarhorn controls all of space.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get a little nutty with it, like,
so they control all the routes to Earth, and so they can't really work with Gjallarhorn because, well, obvious reasons. Yeah,
the organization that wants Kudelia dead. Alas,
right. I've been taking a lot of logic classes this semester, so I've just been like, I need to bring this logic to the conclusion. Like, I can't just say this is obvious. If I just say it's obvious, I lose points on the exam.
Yeah, exactly. You're the fucking like INFP meme calculating the taste of potato chips before you taste them.
I'm calculating the topology of the set of real numbers. Maybe a little bit more lower bound next time.
Yeah, you should have gone closer to the moon. Anyone could tell you this.
Exactly.
But they mention they have to join up with this guy named Orcus, who, not for nothing, Orcus isn't that important of a character, but like he is. I believe Orcus is the god of the dead. I think Orcus is another name for like Pluto or Hades.
Okay.
So it's just like, I mean, names mean things in Gundam, obviously, as we've learned.
Yeah, I was speaking of names that mean things. I was listening to Friends at the Table the other day, and they had like an offhand mention of a gun in Destiny called the Gjallarhorn, and I was like, oh shit, there's a Gundam reference in Destiny. That's pretty sick. And then I looked it up, and it was like, no, that's like named after like a Norse mythological horn. Like both of them are.
Yeah, and that's why Gjallarhorn's logo is a little like trumpet horn thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have to basically, it's fucking dire. They have to side with some unsavory characters to get Kudelia to Earth.
Yeah, unsavory characters like Toto, who is the one who suggests Orcus, and Eugene is like, looks at everyone and is like, "Are you really gonna trust this motherfucker? Like, look at this dude.
He's
look
the
at how
most
lying he is.
Outwardly scheming freak. Like everything he says is punctuated with like a little chuckle.
You know what Toto is? Sorry to interrupt, but you know what Toto is? He's the fucking. You remember that fucking screenshot that, like, this is like 5, 6, 7 years old Tumblr stuff. But, like, that screenshot of Facebook Messenger of the guy messaging the girl being like, would you be my girlfriend? And now I get to ride all the cool roller coasters. And,
yeah, like, shit, I remember that now.
He just puts all of his, like, scheming in his mind that he would put in asterisks, but he says, like, star, they'll never see this one coming, star.
God, fucking Toto.
God, I got fucking...
This guy sucks. I hate this guy. We cut to
I gotta find that post real quick.
Yeah. While you do that, we cut over. Galileo and McGillis are talking about how Coral's base is like clearly scrambling after the failed operation to capture Kudelia back on Mars. They know that like they've like been deleting data, and they know that like Coral sent a battalion that didn't return. Crank and Orlus. And Coral, like, straight up tries to bribe McGillis. He's clearly very desperate now, and McGillis gets so fucking serious. Like, it's just very cool to see, like, he's, like, the Char type character. He's, like, always in control of these situations. And, like, Coral's just so fucking red, mad, and nude about it. Like, after he basically...
We in both this episode and the next one, we see a scene of him, like, banging his head on a wall / his desk, and, like, damn, dude, like, I get it. That's, like, that's not a very healthy coping mechanism, though. I think that can be construed as self-harm, man. You wanna talk?
Yeah, you good, homie?
You good?
We speaking of being good, we do get a quick shot of Ein holding the little like Gjallarhorn pin that Crank gave him, and Ein is also
he's got the
not
Crank memorial. He's got
good.
the Crank memorial amiibo that he's crying about.
Ein, I entrust this to you. My Zero Suit Samus amiibo. She's level 40 and plays so fucking good, dude. You have no idea. Let's see. There's a little scene of Mika and Yuki Nojo on the in the hangar back at the Tekadon base talking about Barbatos, and like they just basically say like, yeah, we might be able to take it to space. Who fucking knows? This thing is 300 years old. I have no idea.
Yeah. It's old as fuck from before the Calamity War. We go to Akihiro and Dexter and the other human debris, and then we get a flashback to Orga like freeing the human debris with the contract. We just basically find out that like there's this contract that's proof of Maruda's ownership of the human debris, and yeah, basically they are just like slaves traded cheaply as is it Mikazuki who says that to Aina later in the episode?
Yeah, he explains to her what human debris are, I believe.
And so basically Orga is Akira's like, hey, don't you know what this means? And Orga's like, yeah, you're free, you can go wherever, but if you stay here, I will protect you. And then there's this shot, and if you want to look at what I'm talking about, specifically 847 in the episode, there's this shot of it's like straight down the middle. Straight down the middle is right between Akihiro and Orga is like extending his hand, and like there's this dividing line between them where Akihiro is like entirely in shadow because he's in like he's like standing in the shadow of like a cliff, And then the other end of that is Orga, who is also mostly in shadow, but the one thing that's not is like the outstretched hand and like the right quarter of his body as like he's reaching out. And I just think it's a really, really good shot.
It's cinematography. This shot should be taught in every film studies course.
Exactly.
It's good whenever we get some very good Akihiro moments as the show goes on, and like, you know, the whole thing with human debris gets expanded on. Like there's gonna be episodes on like their entire deal later on, but like it is like, you know, it's a gesture of goodwill, right? That like Orga immediately is like, all right, like you guys can all leave, like, because, you know, effectively the reality of it is like child slavery / indentured servitude, where like, you know, basically whoever owns the contract like basically owns the human debris, and that's why they have that like red stripe on their their jackets. And essentially that's like, you know, the mark of like, yeah, they have even less, you know, like rights and autonomy than the regular child soldiers do. So it's like, you know, good on Orga for making his like first move being like, all right, you guys are free. Like,
yeah, go wherever. You can stay here and we will protect you if you want, but you can go wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah. With the next scene, they're sort of in the head office, and everyone gets really fucking mad because Orcus.
I just want to say real quick. Akihiro, like back in the spaceport, like on their way to like get the will of the wisp. Akihiro's like, yeah, he like remembers what Orga says, like, yeah, let's set off a giant firework. Then he turns to the other human debris that are there, like, he's, oh, get pumped up, you guys. And Dexter Calastar's like, we're just doing paperwork.
Yeah, we're just going to the car dealership, you guys.
Guys, we're just going to the fucking DMV. Can you chill?
We're going to the space DMV.
We're going to the space DMV.
Oh God, it's good.
Just a line around the block.
Yeah.
In my head, like the space DMV is just like a free floating building in space, like.
No, absolutely, but it looks like a fucking DMV built in like the 60s or whatever.
Yes, exactly. Like it's the DMV that Patty and Selma work at in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Just like floating free in space, not attached to anything. And so like if there's like more than like 20 or so people in line, like they have to just wear a suit and like stand outside.
Exactly. It's like a rope hanging out front that people have to hold on to.
Yeah.
To hoist themselves back inside. Oh fuck, that's good. But yeah,
committing a mass homicide at the DMV with just a pair of scissors.
The next scene is the boys they're getting really mad because they have to take Orcus is taking a 45% cut for this entire operation, but the whole thing is, you know, they, as a brand new organization, not using the name of CGS or anything, have to essentially risk it for the biscuit, no pun intended, and basically, like, you know, endure these, like, dog shit starting conditions. It's a real fucking, you know, entry-level position requiring 10 years of experience, that level of horseshit they got to deal with here.
They started their Dark Souls run as a deprived.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, I'm going retch in Elden Ring, and no one can stop me.
God, when's that out again?
It's out in, as of recording, it's out in 8 days.
Jesus.
I'm simply vibrating.
That's so... Do I have, like, space in my schedule for a new Soulsborne game?
Sarah, the summer of gaming is upon us.
Right, but, like, before that, I got the spring of my final classes and 3 podcasts and job.
Maybe it'll be your reward. Sarah get degree, Sarah get Elden Ring. Perhaps.
Yeah. Sarah get degree, Sarah get job, Sarah get Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm. That's the hierarchy of needs.
Yeah, right.
And of course, after they complain about having to take this pay cut, Toto does his very obvious scheming of like, I wouldn't bank it all on that feature just yet, boy.
Oh yeah, I found the post I was talking about, by the way.
Okay, yeah. Hit me.
This is a Facebook message post from maybe 10 years ago. But you have to be my girlfriend, asterisk, snickers nefariously, asterisk, / thinks to self, / man, if this works, I'll get this cute girl to be my girlfriend and I'll ride the cool roller coasters. Come on, look, be a lady tonight. Asterisk, crosses fingers and gulps, asterisk. So, asterisk, adjusts collar and looks firmly, asterisk. What do you say to my proposal? Asterisk, waits patiently, asterisk.
Forgot about that post.
This is what Toto is doing.
That's what he yeah.
Asterisk, man, if this works, I'll get to be the cool corporal, and I'll get to ride the cool grazes.
I'll get to pilot the cool mobile suits.
Come on.
Toto is the MF to kind of say, "Luck be a lady."
Right.
Fuck this guy. Let's see.
But yeah, Toto. When they find out it's going to be 45%, Eugene is like, "Toto, are you taking a fucking kickback?" And Toto's like, "Hey, if you don't want, if you don't want me to do it, man, then fucking do it yourself."
Yeah. Chuckles nefariously.
Chuckles nefariously.
The next scene is another sort of like window into Kudelia's character here, because she's eating and she's with Fumitan, and like Mika sort of walks by and like notices like she's not really eating, and she's clearly in her head about things, and she has a flashback to when she talked to Nobliss, who's the dude who's funding her essentially.
I cannot figure out what is up with Nobliss based on these episodes. Like the way that Coral talks about him specifically is making me really scratch my head about the guy. Like, and I can't tell if this is like information being purposely obfuscated or if I just missed something about him. Because like the way Coral talks about him. This is episode 5. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but the way Coral talks about him, like he sees Nobliss as like a potential monetary supply, despite the fact that Nobliss is currently clearly funding like not Coral's direct opposition, but like the opposition to Coral, like the opposition.
Essentially, Nobliss is Mac from It's Always Sunny, playing both sides, so he always comes out on top.
Oh, hell yeah!
He's just like a sleazy, ultra rich like investor. Essentially, I think he owns like a Martian arms company, something like that.
Oh, okay.
So he's like
he's the fucking Northrop Grumman.
Exactly. Yeah, he's Nobliss Grumman.
Cordelia has canceled her panel with Northrop Grumman for her comic books at Comic-Con this year.
But he essentially taunts Cordelia, saying like, you're going to build a name for yourself on the bodies of all those boys. So she's still really, up in her head about like these boys trusting her and like throwing their life on the line for her, and like
he specifically he says it in like an extremely like a way that's very much supposed to be like, yeah, this is epic. Like, and I think he's leaning into it very much, but the way he says it, at least in the sub, was the war goddess going to the jaws of death with the young braves will build an eternal paradise over their corpses. Yeah.
Just like, can you write me the check, man?
Right?
I gotta go chop some cucumbers badly later. I'm on a schedule.
Yeah.
We cut to, I don't know why I said on Earth. Galileo and McGillis have landed on Mars now. They're just like in a truck together. They're like driving one of those fucking like the hauler trucks you see in Death Stranding. It's like weirdly sort of like egg shaped almost, like a square egg.
They look good dressed up, I gotta say.
Yeah, no, they got a bit of drip.
I gotta say, these two men are nice to look at.
They're very fun characters. They have very cool Gjallarhorn uniforms with the sashes. When they're not in uniform, they got drip. It's like, Gjallarhorn may be a fascistic military organization, but I gotta say, love the Blowjob Brothers.
The Blowjob Brothers are a bit sexual with it, I must admit.
They're goated with the sauce.
Listen, I've met a good number of lesbians that look identical to Baldwin, so like, I'm not stretching too far. Of course he has purple hair and pronouns.
Exactly. We get a little bit more lore about Cordelia, where McGillis is mentioning that he's mentioning that like Cordelia is essentially negotiating directly with these economic blocks to gain Martian independence, which is like the reason she has to go to Earth. I don't know if he mentions it now or later, but like we learned that like she has a audience with what the fuck is the guy's name? She essentially has an audience on Earth with the guy who runs Arbrow, like one of like the 4 big honchos. So like that's the reason she has to go there, to like talk with the guy and be like, hey, don't,
Yeah.
That's what she's gonna say.
We also find out in this scene that so Baldwin mentions offhand that he's calling his sister Almeria tonight, and that she wants to see Farid. And he then says, our parents decided this, but your fiance is only 9 years old. And Farid does not seem too jazzed about it for two reasons, which is one, that he is gay, and two, also does not want to marry a baby.
So this is one of the most... it's bad.
I'm like, did I miss something here? Like, surely there's no way this is as bad as what I just read looks.
It's... So, okay. Farid McGillis, or McGillis Farid, is engaged to be married to Galio's 9-year-old sister. The whole thing is that, like, they're not going to get married until she's of age. And essentially, like, this is a political marriage to consolidate power between their two families.
It's Twilight. He's doing Jacob from Twilight. It's Jacob from Twilight.
They're doing underage Twilight. Twilight in space.
Twilight was also, like, what, 16-year-olds?
Yeah, they weren't single digits.
When I say they're doing wait, Max, do you not remember the part of Twilight? Do you remember how that... are you familiar with how the love triangle of Twilight resolves?
No, yeah. Where Jacob
falls in love with the
egg.
brand new baby just out.
Yes.
I think about that sometimes.
It's a lot. But, like, the whole thing is McGillis is, like, he sort of views it like he's not, again, like you said, he's not terribly jazzed, but at the same time, he's not resistant to the situation either.
Right,
which,
like the political sway that it would give him, I'm sure, is much more tempting than right. Like, definitely the temptation of that definitely overrides the morality of, I'm not gonna fucking, like, bro, I am like 26 goddamn years old. I was.
It's
bro. I pay bills. I can rent a space car. Without an older person. So I pay rent.
Yeah, I pay bills.
I pay bills.
I have car insurance. Like, beyond all that, though... She doesn't know what
Geico is, aside from the lizard.
She just wants to play Pokemon creatures.
She just wants to play Pokemon. Well, we've got that in common, at least.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it boils down to this whole thing fucking sucks, and I hate it.
Yeah, and he does not like it.
Yeah, I mean... He does not like it. I does not like it either.
He does jokingly call Baldwin Big Brother here, though.
Yeah, that's like the best thing to come out of this whole fucked up thing.
Yeah.
But regardless, they're driving, and they're driving like around the area where Tekadon is, right? And we cut to Mika has taken Kudelia, and he's with Biscuit to Sakura's cornfield, which is Biscuit, Cookie, and Cracker's grandmother, and they're here to shuck. They're here to grab and shuck corns.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. We get a cute little scene where Atra notices Mika's little boondoggle, and she's like, "Oh, it matches mine." It's gotta say, fucking love Atra.
Yep. Hold on, sorry. I just tabbed over to Pigot chat, and they're talking about Iron-Blooded Orphans completely just because Elliot started talking about the purple-haired internal affairs guy.
That's exactly how he described him to me too.
That's what he is.
That's what he is. We're talking about him right now.
We're talking about him right now.
Galio Bodwin's in the room.
But yeah, they find like they find the marks of the battle that took place in the first episode.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, okay, so this is like, because earlier in the episode they had been like decoding some data from some intentionally junked up data that Coral had given them, and when he he's like, oh, I'm so sorry about the file format, Professor. I must have messed something up. And he did like the trick of changing, like opening the file in Notebook and then changing one thing and making it unopenable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, sir, that you couldn't open the file. I'll have it to you as soon as possible. And they're like, no, it was, we got to figure it out. But, he can't account for a squadron that he claims that he sent a company down to Earth to tamp down the rebellion, claiming that they were venting their frustrations and not even doing it in the vent channel, which is really just a bannable offense.
Yeah, come on. We have organization for this purpose.
The happy and mundane Mars will vent their anger. And but then they're like, oh, okay, this is where that company went, instead of where he very clearly lied to us. Argyle says hi, also.
Hi, Argyle.
Lucia also says hi. So we get the scene of we cut back to them at the ranch, at the little the farm, and Kudelia is like picking up some corn, and she's like talking to Mikazuki about it, and she's like, when I'm out here touching grass, my mind is clear of Twitter discourse. I don't even know what I don't even have to think about it. I can just...
I don't even know who's trending right now.
Right, I don't even know... My friends are talking to me about shrimp corn, about a guy who found shrimp in his cereal, and I don't know a thing about it. I've never been happier.
But it's so relaxing. And at one point, like, Mika asks Kudelia, because, you know, like, she knows that this is how Sakura makes her living. And he asks her, like, you know, how much do you think a corn costs? And she's like, 1 ear of corn? Oh, it costs like $200, I bet.
Yeah,
it's 1 ear of corn, Mikazuki.
Corn.
How much could it cost?
Right. He does the Bill Gates pizza rolls. That's $15.
$50 for a whole freaking bunch of corn
For
is
10
highway
kilograms,
robbery.
Because it's like a base organic material that can be used as fuel.
Uh-huh.
And so it's, you know, it's not
cheap.
paid for. It's very cheap, yeah. And he says, like, to feed their family, to pay off a debt, they put their bodies on the line to live.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also when Kudelia learns about slavery, and she's like, damn, that shit sucks.
Damn, she's the one. She goes to Mars Twitter and posts her with a fucking piece of loose leaf that says "End slavery" as she smolders at the camera.
Yeah. Atra is watching Mikazuki and Kudelia talk, and Cookie and Cracker went up to her and like, "Oh, you're gonna lose your boyfriend if you don't. You're gonna lose your boy." I love them so much.
The dynamic is so good. Cookie and Cracker run off, and we hear like a car screech, and we hear them scream, and everyone runs over.
And when the dust clears, the twins are lying dead on the pavement.
They truly are lying dead on the pavement. And, like, you know, Gailia gets out and looks, and Mika runs up, and, like, he's in fucking beast mode. You can tell because his pupils are so tiny, and, like, he, like, one hand lifts Gailia up and starts choking him out against the edge of the car. Like,
one-handed.
This kid's fucked up.
Like, and the thing is, like, it's a full arm. Like, not that it would be any easier if, like, he had a bend in, like, not that it would be easy if he was doing it with a bend in his arm, but it would certainly be easier than a full arm extension, holding someone up at, like, a 40 degree angle by the throat. Like, what kind of muscle mass you work? Like, even assuming that, like, even in the world where Baldwin is, like, fucking lithe, string bean is not fucking jacked to the nines like we know he is. Like, how? Bro, how are you this jacked? I know it's Anime Boy, but, like...
I mean, maybe Mars gravity's lower. I think it is.
You know, honestly, actually, that could actually be... Well, I mean, that wouldn't really have enough... Well, no, yeah. Well...
I don't claim to be a physicist about this.
Because then, like, your muscles would, like, have atrophied different... Like, if this was on Earth, sure, but, like...
Yeah.
Because, like, your muscles would... If your muscle have atrophied? I'm not entirely sure. Something like that. Not atrophied, but it's, like, you know... You're doing chin-ups, and if you're doing, like, pull-ups, you're only lifting a fraction of what your Earth weight would be, so your muscles are not going to get that big. And it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. The point is he chokes Gailia out and looks fucking badass until Sakura sort of snaps him out of it. And, you know, McGillis is out, and he's, like, you know, apologizing. Oh, I'm so sorry. Cookie and Cracker are fine, by the way. They get up.
Yeah, they're like, no, the car's swerved to avoid us, and then Farid steps out and apologizes, and I have to call myself out for this note that I left 2 days ago when I watched this episode, which was, Farid steps out to apologize. He's a bit sexual.
He is a bit sexual. He looks kind of fucking cool. Gailia was, like, still, you know, choking after Mika let go of him, so he, like, swings at Mika, and Mika, you know, nothing personnel kid, and fucking dodges like it's nothing, which is when they notice that he has 3 Elia Vignana ports on the back of his neck.
Elia Vignana ports.
And then Gailia immediately proceeds to throw up because he's so, like, disgusted that anyone would have that done to them.
Yeah.
Not a good first impression.
The Elia Vagina system. The Elia Banana system.
Banana! There's a trillion different permutations.
Right. Elia Vagina system.
So true. And McGillis apologized to the girls by pulling out just, like, a bag of chocolates.
Yeah.
And... he's like, oh, you should go see a doctor. If there's any outstanding charges, you can foot the bill to Gjallarhorn Mars branch. Ask for McGillis Farid. So it's just like, you know, big fucking money, big authority, telling someone to go see a doctor. First of all, no way can any of these people afford a doctor. Like, after just getting the talk of Kudelia not knowing how much a banana costs.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it comes off like part patronizing of, you know, him not realizing how sort of high above them he is in status. But at the same time, it's like, he's being, you know, at least he's being nice about it, I suppose.
Right. It's the, I don't know. It's like on a much larger scale, but to me, it's the same thing as like offering to like get your friend, like, get like, if like, buying your friend who works a 9 to 5 at minimum wage and buying them lunch with a company credit card.
Yeah, it's like, I'll take it, but I still feel like I'm being patronized a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, actually, that's a bit of a bad example, because if someone was I know how companies check their credit cards. They check those receipts bad, and if someone was willing to risk that receipt check and just be like, "Oh, I had a big tummy that day. I wanted 2 big.
I was
burgers.
hungry.
I wanted 2 burger. I'm sorry, boss." I would not feel patronized in that scenario, but it's
no,
similar.
okay, yeah, true. It's always ethical, etc., etc.
Right. Right. It's always ethical to buy your friends lunch with the company credit card.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the entire time this scene's happening, Fumitan is like taken Kudelia and hidden her in the corn because she realizes that they're
so the Blowjob Brothers don't get eyes on her.
Yeah, exactly. And they never notice, but they end up driving off like it's fine.
Right.
Even though McGillis is still because he asks Biscuit and Mika about, you hear any battle lately? And Biscuit's like, oh, I think there was some live fire tests somewhere over the mountain range. But McGillis is still very suspicious, and he's like, even knows that there's an organization called CGS that just changed their name to Tekadon. And he's like, oh, maybe that's not all that they're covering up with just a name change. So he's still very much onto everyone, but he's so playing it off as if not.
Yeah. And we cut to the renaming of the Will-o'-the-Wisp, which is now Isaribi.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know. I should have looked up what that if that translates to anything that I wouldn't know. But
it means, I swear I saw it meant something. And I'm Googling it right now so I know. Fishing fire. Okay, I don't know if that's what they're going for. It probably means something else.
That's Volcanian's type is fishing fire.
Okay, so it's like fire that you use at night to lure fish to catch.
Oh,
so, okay. Sure, I'll take it. It's a cool name. And Will-o'-the-Wisp is pretty cool. Yeah. Dexter is still sad, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, unfortunate that Will-o'-the-Wisp is a cooler name to me.
It is a cooler name to me as well, so can't win them all.
Yeah, but what can you do?
What can you do?
Mikazuki and the gang roll back up to the Tekadon base and see the epic Pope hat that is Tekadon's logo. It's a flower, but I just can't not see it as like the cap of like a bishop piece in or not a bishop, a queen or a king in chess.
Yeah, it does not look like a flower whatsoever, I must say.
Orga turns to him and is like, Mika, we're going to protect this. And then we cut to Toto doing a suspicious phone call and saying, I'll show you a reminder of how terrifying adults can be.
Honestly, fuck this guy.
Awful vibes.
Next episode. Next up, we have episode 5. Beyond the Red Sky. As Tekadon prepare to leave Earth, Toto contacts Gjallarhorn to inform them of the situation so he can come out on top. Unbeknownst to Toto, Coral and Orcus, Tekadon's guide to Earth, are also in cahoots against Tekadon. Atra joins Tekadon as their cook right before they leave for space, but when they leave the planet, they are attacked by Gjallarhorn. Anticipating this attack, Orga reveals that Mikazuki has been waiting inside Barbatos and begins to fight back. As the battle continues, the Isaribi arrives, and Akihiro gets in Crank's graze to aid Mikazuki in his fight. Ein is in a rage and is soon backed up by Gaelio and McGillis, who are expert fighters. Tekadon is able to safely escape after Orga plans a slingshot maneuver around a mining asteroid, successfully escaping Gjallarhorn's trap. This is the battle episode!
Eugene epic moments.
Eugene Poggers maneuvers.
I enjoy how the last time we left Coral, he was like banging his head on a wall outside of Farid and Baldwin's office. And then we see him for the first time in this episode, and he's like banging his head on his desk in his own office.
Yeah, this guy can't catch a fucking break.
Right. But then he gets a phone call from someone from Orcus who wants to talk to him about Kudelia, and we get like a really cool shot from because an establishing shot for pretty much every time we've been in his office has been like a slow pan lengthwise across like the floor window that he has in his office.
Yeah.
And so
it's a cool
we have a
office.
different angle this time of like from under that floor window, looking at him smiling evilly as he gets some news.
It's rad.
Yeah.
I just love that. It's a very cool. It's like, it's a good juxtaposition between how dirty Mars is and how sort of like clean and spacious and like all these windows that Gjallarhorn has in their ship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks neat. Ein is still in his head about Crank.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to do something, and he finally gets the order that he's no longer on standby, and he gets to fight finally. So he's very, very jazzed about that.
Mm-hmm.
We cut to Mars. It's nighttime. Kudelia is like wandering around at night, and she sees the watchtower is like lit up. So she goes there and she finds Mika, who's just chilling.
And he says he says it seems you're fond of me T-boy swag, Wiki.
We finally learn what his fun little snack is.
Well, we don't even learn it here because we hear the name later because we don't hear him say.
Oh, that's right. No, I'm sorry.
Mars
he just
Palms,
offers them to her here.
Yeah, he just offers her them, and one of them's nasty. She gets an earwax Birdie Bots every flavored bean.
Yeah, it's the vomit flavor, Mika. Gross. I thought it was Tutti Frutti.
Oh, bad news, Cordelia. You just earned yourself a chance in the extra bean challenge room.
The bean boozling of Cordelia Ina Bernstein.
The bean boozling of the coward Cordelia Ina Bernstein by the coward Cordelia Ina Bernstein.
Cordelia Ina Beanstein.
Cordelia Ina Beanstein.
God. Oh, we do get quote unquote deep lore here, because Mika asks Cordelia. He's like, "Hey, am I going to be able to see the moon from the Earth? I think I've read about it before." And she says, "Yeah," and he's excited because he tells her that his name means crescent moon. Mikazuki does mean crescent moon in Japanese. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, she's wrong. We all know that Piccolo destroyed the moon, so Gohan wouldn't transform into a Nozaru. But she hasn't been on Earth in quite some time. I don't, if ever. So I'm forgiving her for not knowing that.
That was really considerate of Piccolo.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, it's for Gohan.
I think we all wish we could have friends as supportive as that.
Every day of my life. But she does mention that like the moon was damaged in the Calamity War and you can barely see it from Earth, which is kind of an interesting idea. Like that's not really, the moon is always very important in pretty much every Gundam series, so it's cool that there's like a throwaway of like, yeah, moon's fucked.
Yeah, moon's haunted. Don't worry about it.
Moon's not haunted anymore. We fucked that moon up real good.
The moon does not have enough left to be haunted.
We have successfully exorcised the moon with explosives.
If I ever get possessed, this is how I want to be exercised also. Just with a big back of C4.
That'll do it.
Just try it. Like, fuck it, man. Whatever.
Who give a shit?
Who give a shit?
The next morning, Atra shows up. She has all her stuff with her. She's
so
like,
cute. She runs in and is like so determined. She's like, please let me be your chef. I quit my other job already. I want to work with Tekadon and Organ. She's like so earnest about it. She's so cute.
I love Atra so fucking much, and everyone is like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I think Orga even's like, what do you think, Mika? And he's like, yeah, I like your food.
Yeah,
it's so easy.
No, it's not even that. He in the most deadpan voice, completely disaffected face, just like, yeah, Atra's cooking is the best in the world. And Orga's like, all right, everyone, get hype. We're going to fucking space. Tekadon's first big mission. Let's go. Like, let's do a dance circle. Just get everyone in the, feeling it. And Toto's just like sitting in the corner and be like, snickers evilly. This is your last supper. Enjoy it while you can.
Fucking hate Toto so much.
He sucks so bad.
And this is the scene.
I know I'm going to ask this question so many times. Why does he have that mustache?
I don't fucking know. I really wish.
I'm not like trying to complain that like, oh, a character like that doesn't deserve that mustache. It's just like, why is this here?
It's baffling. Toto exists to just have people get mad at him. I'm convinced. Right. This also is the scene where we learn that Mikazuki is eating Mars plums.
Yeah, or Mars palms, isn't it?
Oh, I must have. You know what? They did say palms. I thought I just misunderstood because the dub on Crunchyroll doesn't have subtitles. So they're Mars palms.
Yeah, no, it's Mars palms. It's
interesting.
According to Reddit, they seem to be a cultivar of the date palm plant that's grown on Mars.
Okay, all right. Mika's getting his whatever vitamins and minerals are in a date palm. It's probably good for a growing boy like him. I would eat one.
I just googled Mars palms and there's just like Google's like, do you want to see pictures of Mikazuki? And I'm like, yes, I do. That's my son now.
Always. Why would you need to ask?
That's my special little. I'm fucking. If you don't know this about me, I'm like fucking huge in real. Like I'm like 6'6", and I'm just imagining like me holding up Mikazuki like he's a stuffed animal and be like, that's my little guy.
This is my special boy.
This is my special little man.
Oh, so good. We do get a short scene of Orcus Skyping Coral this time, You know, talking about how business is booming, and they effectively are also going to capture Kudelia. So Orcus is sort of, you know, double-crossing Tekadon here, siding with Gjallarhorn here. Coral's going to get Nobilis's money for doing this. Very, very disrespectful. Very sad. Hate to see it.
Yeah.
Fuck Orcus.
Yeah. My notes just say Orcus is talking to Coral and Orcus says, "Well, we could have done it. Well, it's political." Never mind. Carry on, sir.
Nevertheless.
No, nevertheless. If it's political, I'll step aside, sir.
Yeah. Kudelia get fucking suit is the next thing that happens.
Looks so good in this. She looks so cute in her suit.
Fucking fly, Kudelia. I love it.
She looks good.
As they take off in the shuttle, she thinks to herself, "Wish me luck, mother, father." I'm like, Kudelia, you don't want your father to wish you luck. He's the guy who got you into this whole situation in the first place, I think. Yeah. Read the room on yourself, Kudelia.
She looks nice though. Fumitan is there also. I don't need to say Fumitan is there. I'm fixated upon Fumitan. I like her.
I love Fumitan's so good.
Look at her. I figured she would join. I figured she would start doing things besides caring for Kudelia eventually, but I did not expect the angle at which she was going to join the crew.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just look at her and I'm like, oh, I feel like this is gonna be like a battle maid.
Yeah, you'd think, but no, she's in it. You know, she's bridge crew. It rules.
Yeah. I would like to see her as a battle maid, but
give her a maid Gundam.
I can't lie. Make her
Mobile Suit Fumitan.
Mobile Suit Fumitan.
So they go to space. They see Orcus's ship. And then as soon as they see it, they're in a little shuttle heading towards it. Mm-hmm. And Gjallarhorn suits fly out and they surround the shuttle. And Toto freaks out and plays his hand, and he's demanding to call Orcus. He's like, "This wasn't part of the deal." And then Eugene and Shiro just fucking, I think they just grab his head and slam him in the ground or something.
Yeah,
they do something. They fuck Toto up. They give him a black eye.
They definitely. I don't think we see him getting the shit beaten out of him, because he gets apprehended in one scene, and then we cut away, and then we cut back to him, and Orga's "Oh, go put him in the closet." And he's got a big welt on his face. Mm-hmm. And there's this really funny thing of who's the guy who's not Eugene, who's in Tekadon? I can't think of his name. It's not Biscuit or Orga anyway. It's
Shiro. It's either Shiro or Shino, and I know who you're talking about with the orangish hair and the earrings. I always forget if he's a Shiro or Shino. But I know who you're talking about.
I think it's him, but we just see this as Kudelia enters the room, we see them flying backwards out of frame at a very high speed. Just get this guy out of here.
It's so good. But yeah, they surround the shuttle and they demand the release of Kudelia. And of course, Kudelia wants to go along with it because she doesn't want to put anyone else in danger anymore. Mm-hmm. And Orga's no way, we have our own plan. And Biscuit gets on the little intercom and he tells Mika it's time. Oh, let's fucking go.
Yeah. The gates on the back of the ship open up, and the mobile suit that's currently tethered to the back is that's a cheap trick because he's got a face full of smoke. But then a big gun emerges from the smoke and blasts that Grays in the chest. And these suits are in the chest, right? The pilot.
Yes, the cockpit is in the chest. This guy got fucking point blank shot through the cockpit.
Right. Okay. For a brief moment, I thought this was... I thought I heard either Farid or Baldwin's voice coming out of this, so I was like, oh, well, I guess Mikazuki should have aimed for where the cockpit is next time.
Yeah, no, this was the cockpit.
He's listened to Friends at the Table. He knows what the weak point... He knows what the weak point of a Gundam, of a mobile suit is.
Exactly. You think it's the head. It's not always the head. Sometimes it's the head. Char likes to be in the head, but not most of the time.
Right.
But yeah, they're being surrounded. Ein and Coral are there. Coral is Coral straight up demands the entire ship to be taken down before McGillis and Galileo show up. He's tired of all these loose ends. He's we'll just say she got killed in the battle, whatever. She just wants everyone dead here.
Yeah. He also wants McGillis and what's Baldwin's first name again?
Galileo,
thank you. He also wants McGillis and Galileo to if he can engineer a scenario in which they die by accident, that would be epic for him.
It would simply be a happy coincidence. But
before he can he wants to do this so he can cut a deal with Nobilis, and but before he can do any of that, Mikazuki manages to draw the mobile suits away, and while this happens, Orcus is planning to sink the ship, but here comes Akihiro in his Boba Fett looking ship.
Yeah, this is the Isaribi.
Yeah, the Isaribi. I like
they're
it.
incoming. They like
Toto turns to Orga and is like, wait, I thought we were gonna meet in orbit, and Orga's like, oh, bitch, you did think, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You thought it, yeah. I let you believe that. Yeah.
We have schemes too. We can do this.
Right. We got tricks.
They kind of immediately cut to being on board the Isaribi in the bridge. I love how like dingy and shitty and grimy this bridge is.
Yes.
Like white base this is not.
No, this is Millennium Falcon, baby.
It is, yeah, honestly, it's like it's very lived in. It's very like
they spent
not low
They
tech,
spent 1,000 looking fly, Millennium Falcon. I rewatched the original trilogy last week when Neve was here, and the entire time Lando Calrissian was on screen, I was just thinking of the Demi Adujuibe Lando rap, the Childish Gambino one.
It's so good.
It's always threatening kids like a blast, Jimmy Neutron.
God damn, he's so fucking talented.
Bone hard like a skeleton.
I do like to see we see Atra as they get on the bridge, and like she's never been in Zero G before, so she like doesn't know like what to do. She doesn't know how to move around. It's very cute. I like these little touches.
Yeah.
And then Orga tells Akihiro to get in the other one.
Get in that. As he says, get Yamagi to prepare that. He says prepare that a lot in this episode.
Mm-hmm. It's very Kamina Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
It's like, what's that?
Biscuit says, hey, are we gonna really fuck with the merchandise? And Orga's like, well, if we die, we can't really do business with this merchandise anyways, so. Coral goes in for the kill on Mikazuki, but gets stopped by Akihiro in Crank's graze, and Akihiro throws like the what is this weapon what is the name of the weapon that Barbados has?
It's I just call it the club or the mace. I don't know if it has an actual...
The thing is that's making it hard for me to like actually decide what to name it. What it is that like it kind of looks like it's kind of like structured a bit like a lance, where there's like a lot of it that is not like sharp. That is not like there's a long part of it that is just like slim, and it's not like a sword where like the handle is very small. It's like got that long staff like a spear or a lance might, but then like. The tip of it is extremely long, much like a sword, not like a lance where like it has a point that you're aiming at, or like, you know.
Yeah, it's so the wiki classifies it.
It looks like a Dark Knight greatsword. It looks like a Black Knight greatsword with like a really really long hilt.
Yeah, so the wiki says it's a mace. I call it a pile bunker on the inside, but they just say it's a needle. Effectively, it's a mace that has like a puncturing tip that like can fire out of it. Mm-hmm. So it's like a double, 2-in-1. It's a fucking sick ass weapon, and the gunpla I have of it, like you can like extend the tip from the mace, which is very fun.
That rules. So anyways, Akihiro throws it up, and Kroll's like, what? And then Mika catches it and like slams the point directly into Coral's chest.
Bye, Coral.
Bye, honey.
Galarian Corsola is shaking.
Get his ass.
Yeah, and Nine freaks out because again he like knows the signature of the graze that Akihiro's in is Crank's graze.
Right, he can tell from the waves off of the Ahab reactor.
Yeah,
and
making waves.
Ein rushes in because he gets really mad about it, but then Mikazuki is just fucking schmoving. Like his dash dancing is unparalleled. His recovery to ledge is unbeatable. You cannot these wave dashes are so clean. Look at that.
Yeah, the Elia Vignana is like the fucked up waver that lets you wave dash so good.
Yes, exactly.
It rules.
The Elia Vignana's got the fucking snapback. The Elia Vignana is the one with like the snapback adjuster and the
exactly.
The
tactile
Z button.
The gamer's choice.
But then Gaelio shows up in his suit, and it's purple like the other grazes we've seen this. Because the grazes that we've seen this episode are the same, more or less the same.
They're like the regular graze. This is an upgrade. This is the Schwalb graze.
Yeah, this is the Schwalb graze. It's got a lance arm like Mega Man Battle Network has sometimes. Mm-hmm.
It has a cool it has like pretty thick legs. It's like a space use one. There's like a lot of thrusters. It has like a cool yeah, like it's like this like pinching lance arm that can like fly off, and it has a cool sort of like visor. It's a fun little upgrade. I like it. It's like you don't see it much.
It's a bit Bisharp with it.
It's quite Bisharp, Sarah. We're so fucking Pokemon brained.
It's truly just all I can fuck. I did like 7 scrims today. My brain is just running amok with Pokemon.
Muck. That's a Pokemon.
That's a Pokemon. I love Alolan Muck. That's my friend.
That thing's fucker unlimited. I tell you what.
It's so big. It's so bulky. It's so one
bad
type
loop.
weakness.
We get
back on the Gjallarhorn ship. We see Farid trying to identify Barbados, and they find out it is a Gundam frame, which is from the Calamity War era. And we found out that machines with that name have appeared many times at historical turning points, which I love. Like, it makes it feel like something out of like maybe not Arthurian legend, but like something like some like mythical.
It's like folklore,
right? Like some mythical thing that just like transcends like cultures and stuff. It's just like this is something that has shown up when it has been needed, and like. It's like ringing a very familiar bell to like something else, but I just cannot think of it.
I understand the vibes you're going for. It's cool, like, and every different series has a like every Gundam timeline. I mean, has a classification on what makes a Gundam a Gundam. Funny enough, UC is the most loose with it because there's so many things that like aren't Gundams that technically are, and vice versa. And like in Gundam Wing, a Gundam is something made out of Gundarium. It's like the material it's made out of. In this, a Gundam is something is like this frame made 300 years ago that has dual AHAB reactors that like resonate at a certain frequency. So each of the 72 has like a unique individual signature. That's how you can like that's how you can tell which one it is. So that's how they know this one is Barbatos, which is the 8th Gundam frame. Yeah. Again, Lesser Kia Solomon fucking beats ass.
It's very good.
And McGillis mentions that the Grazes can't really like lock on with it. They can't really use their targeting to help with it because of the way it moves. It doesn't move like a mobile suit. It moves like an animal because it's hooked up to a live Vinyana. I think all the Gundam frames are a live Vinyana suit. So it's like, and you can see the way Mika moves. Like you said, he's schmoovin'. He's dash dancing.
Like he's got the wave landing. Like, look at this man. He's like he's like fucking platform dropping into Nair. Like up airing into rest. He like you cannot stop him.
Mika's getting those 0 deaths no problem.
Exactly. He's like 4-stock. He's doing the Axe Pikachu 1 minute 4-stock to these guys.
That ain't Falco.
That ain't fucking Falco. I like Farid sitting as Farid is sitting in his once Farid launches and once McGillis Farid. I can't decide what I want to be calling him.
Either or, people will get it.
Yeah, true. Once McGillis launches, he's just like sitting in his cockpit, like doing the Garma hair twirl, which I really like. Like, it's very funny that he is like standing next to a purple-haired boy at all times, and yet he is the one doing the hair twirl.
It's stolen valor,
and he's just like, oh damn, our aiming system is fine. Mikazuki is just goated with the sauce.
Truly. And at this point, though,
he deduces this is the Elia banana.
But at this point, Orga...
He also notes that the nanolamina of the thrusters is worn out, which is like the protective coating. And so Farid blasts that shit. And then we cut back to the Isaribi, thank you. We come back to the Isaribi, and Orga's like, can we use that? And he points to an asteroid. He points to an asteroid that's like dead ahead of them in space. And they're going to slingshot themselves using a cable and a mobile worker. And it's epic.
Orga wants to be Orga wants to be the first, like the person to do it. He's the one in charge. And Gene's like, fuck you. I'm going to do it. You're the guy in charge. You got to pilot the ship. I'm not going to let you hog all the glory. You gotta sit here and look cool. The moments between the moments, but these are such homosexual moments between them where they're like, this is these two are in the party rockers are in the house tonight. It's party rock is, then they start kissing. And then they make out. Exactly.
Like, because and then Orga turns to him and gives him a smirk. He's like, fine, I'll let you hog the limelight. It's so gay.
It's so good.
The Isaribi launches its grappling hook, and Eugene in his mobile worker rides that cable out and rams the asteroid, propelling it forward and pulling the Isaribi with it. He uses the explosive charge that he planted when ramming it he tries to explode that to dislodge the grappling hook, but it fails, and the Isaribi almost gets launched into the asteroid itself, but then Eugene does a cool flip in the mobile worker, launches an O2, what I would assume is like an O2 tank or something, onto where the wire is stuck and explodes it with his gun, and that frees the ship.
And of course, the show's main theme plays while this happens, which is how you know it's a badass moment.
Yeah. And Isaribi completely crunches into Orcus's ship, and then blinds them with a flash bomb on their way out, also blinding the Gjallarhorn guys.
Mm-hmm. It rules.
Yeah.
Like, before Mika, like, grabs on to, like, one of the fins of the Isaribi to escape, Galileo like, trying to pull him down into the gravity well, but, you know, he's, like, resisting it. And they get on the radio, and they recognize each other's voices, and Mika only knows McGillis as Chocolate Man.
Yeah, the Chocolate
Man. But, you know, they still recognize each other. And, like, I just this fucking word salad sentence of Mika saying, "I see, the blue grazes Chocolate Man." Like, that's a fucking sleeper agent activation phrase if ever I heard one.
That's not my Winter Soldier activation phrase.
It's someone's.
As I've established on Twitter, my Winter Soldier activation phrase is all of the English words in the Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood OP3 Golden Time Lover by Switch.
Yeah. Pressure days, etc.
Pressure game, borderline, poker face, target, pride, closer, golden time.
Golden time.
The extended version does have an English in one of the they have a different chorus for the second chorus is different in the extended version, and one of the English phrases / words that they use in that is "clap your hands," and I'm like, damn, I think I will.
It's my choice.
My choice. I will clap my hand. Thank you, Sakuma. Thank you, Sakuma Switch.
Speaking of clapping hands, when everyone's back on Isaribi, there's like a very quick tense moment as like they open up the mill worker and find Eugene there.
Well,
but then like
we didn't talk about Mikazuki like giving them the slip, right? Like because he Barbatos' thrusters start giving a little bit, and so Mikazuki just hops onto the fin of the Isaribi that's passing by, and just like it's a cool shot. Like they're just like looking at McGillis and Galileo are looking at Barbatos from above, and then the Isaribi flies over it, and then he's gone, and then Barbatos is gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's fun because like the camera doesn't even pan; it's just like bye. But yeah, we get that really nice shot of Orga and Eugene like clasping hands as Orga pulls him out of the mobile worker. So it's like that mutual respect, and then you know what we don't see.
Eugene walked out and said, "I need a brother check-in," and like he posted that image of like fucking Luffy and Ace shaking hands with their cocks out.
Yeah, what we don't see is Orga and Eugene immediately like find the nearest service closet and explore each other's bodies.
Right.
Hold on,
I need to find the brother check-in image. I just need to look at it.
The last bit of the episode is Gjallarhorn back on like the Ares base. They send it to Coral, but Coral's fucking dead, so McGillis is the one who receives it. It's just like a fucking box that they sent Toto in, right. And on his tummy they wrote, "This one looks like one of yours, so you deal with him." And McGillis just like cackles maniacally at this.
Sorry, I just found the image, the brother check-in image. Orga opened up the cockpit and said, "I am doing a brother check-in, showing support for one another. I need 6 men to post, not share this message to show you are always there. Someone needs to talk. Let's go, gentlemen."
Let's go, gentlemen.
This is such a good image.
I can't look away.
Yeah, right. Ace's giant cock is hypnotizing.
It's giant is an understatement here. It's like as thick as his thigh.
Right? His balls are so big.
Oh my god. Getting lightheaded. That's episode though. It was good. I like battles. You know.
Episode. Eugene gets his big dick out and shakes Orga's hand.
Let's go, gentlemen.
Let's go, gentlemen.
You want to tell us about that episode 6?
3, yeah. Episode 6. As for them. After escaping the fight, both Gjallarhorn and Tekadon find out / discuss some more information about Barbatos. Fumatan is brought onto the crew as a communication specialist as they all brainstorm where to go for their guide next, as Orcus turned out to be a lying piece of shit and they obviously still can't go with Gjallarhorn. They eventually land on going with the group Taiwas, a mafia adjacent / just whole ass mafia company that they don't really have any inroads in. They struggle with the arduous nature of their mission, but eventually decide that the only way out is through. Ein requests also on the Gjallarhorn side. Ein requests to join the Blowjob Brothers' chase force, and also Kudelia gives reading and writing lessons to all the little kids.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of action in this one. Just chilling. Politics.
Honestly, though, I love that. Ibo. Why the fuck did I say it like
Ibo?
Ibo. You know, from
Ibo.
Yu-Gi-Oh. IBO does a really good job of like breaking up the mobile suit fights with like episodes where people just like chill and talk and like, you know, it's good breathing room. It's good change of pace. It's good. I'll say Mario Okada. Good job with the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we do see as the episode very begins, Maruba is like on a different ship. Who's like pissed as fuck. He's like, that's my ship! Where are they going? We don't really like know where he is. We just like see like the silhouette of like some dude with long hair. But like Maruba's like alive and well, and he's still very, very mad that these unruly boys took over his entire fucking company. Cry harder, old man.
Yeah. And the yeah, we see Jake Marshall from Ace Attorney, the bottom half of his face. He's been in the OP a lot. I've seen this man. I know this is the cowboy detective who is friends with Lana Scott. No, is he friends with Lana? No, he hates Lana.
Yeah, Alana died. Emma investigates
he
him.
hates Emma. Well,
yeah.
Emma?
Eh.
Right.
It's been a long fucking time since I played
who's
a
Emma's
Case
sister?
5 of Ace
What's
Attorney.
Emma's sister's name?
Lana.
Okay, yes. All right.
Yeah, Lana's the one. We gotta get Elliot on here.
Lana didn't die.
Didn't she?
No, Lana killed someone.
Oh, that's right.
Well, she was
It was the other guy. It was like the weird detective with like the white suit that died, right?
Yeah. Bruce Goodman. Why do I remember
Bruce
that?
Goodman.
What the fuck? Bruce Goodman?
What that? That's like a very understated Ace Attorney name, but it's still fucking great.
Honest to goodness, my favorite Ace Attorney name is Wanda. What the fuck's her name? The redhead. Wanda.
Lotta Hart.
Yes, Lotta Hart. Why did I think her name was Wanda? Lotta Hart. I love Lotta Hart so much.
She's nice. She's very brash.
Yeah.
I like her. Doesn't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
So we learned that let's see.
Yeah, we get some lore about Barbados that the Calamity War was 300-ish years ago on Earth, and a bunch of mobile suits that could have destroyed the Earth got into a bunch of fights. And we also learned that there were Barbados is one of the 72 machines called Gundam, and we learned about the machines having 2 Ahab reactors. We also find out that the Elia Banana system was developed during the Calamity War to help with mobile suit control, which let pilots be as nutty with it as Mikazuki has been with Barbados.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. You know, it's fucked up. It's like we had, desperate times. We made some fucked up technology that won the war, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Oh. Atra talks to Mika afterwards about fighting and, asks if he's afraid. And he's like, I could die, but, it'll be. I'm sorry. She says he could die if he's not careful.
And he says, it'll be okay. I have this, and points to his little lucky charm. And this is such a cute moment. It also made me write down in my notes that Atra is definitely not going to be alive in 10 to 15 episodes from now. I'm so worried about her.
That's the wonder of IBO, of just like looking at the entire cast, and like the show does a good job of it doesn't it'll simultaneously telegraph that everyone could die, but not giving away who will die.
Right. No one's like, I'm 2 days away. I'm 2 days away from retire. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, what's his name? Yakima, the mechanic.
Yuki Nojo.
Thank you. Absolutely gonna die. He's the only old fuck that's around. Like,
I'm typing pencil emoji in my head.
I'm so concerned. Every time a cute moment happens, I'm like, I can't. To peel back the curtain a little bit, I did early on just like Google like Kudelia's name just to like make sure that I was talking about the right person. And one of the questions I saw was this might be spoilers for the whole series, but the one of the questions that I saw was did Kudelia and Mika get married? Which is making me think, I'm thinking, because that was a popular question that was suggested to me, I think that means that those two survive, and also makes me really worried about one of Orga or Mika have to die, and I'm really concerned about the fact that I saw that question that was like, did Mika get married after the events of Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans?
He marries his Gundam.
He marries Orga.
Love wins.
Finally, God. So Tekadon's having a meeting. They need to find a new They need to find a new guide, and also someone to watch their backs on Mars, because they've taken pretty much most, if not all, of the combat of like capable people. So if anyone wanted to attack Tekadon's base, it would just be like a bunch of little kids holding.
There's just some fucking
like,
babies over
just
there. It's not great.
Just a bunch of fun, just like a bunch of fucking Vincent adult mans over there. We Orga is like, we should go to Taiwas, which is a conglomerate that's based on the Jupiter sphere. They also might be mafia.
Mm-hmm.
And
perhaps they are like the Japanese Yakuza, who could say?
Yeah, impossible to say. Biscuit is it might be Biscuit. Someone is like against this idea, but Orga is like, we can't go home. We can't go to Mars.
Yeah, we're in it to win it.
Like, we got nowhere to go, so I guess we got to go to Jupiter and figure out how to negotiate. We can't go to Earth and we can't go back to Mars. We got to go to Jupiter.
We got to get more stupider.
Fumitan does like some tech shit on her computer.
This rules.
It's the scene from 999 when like Lotus hops in front of the computer and we get the CG of Junpei just staring at her boobs while she types.
Yeah. She explains that Gjallarhorn has this whole like information communication network called Ariadne. It's like a spider web. Do you get it?
I got that one.
Yeah, and it basically links all of their way stations all around the solar system. And she basically explains like, yeah, we can use it. It's all encrypted, so no one can track us that we're using it, and we can use this to communicate. And also, I'm going to be the comms officer now, and I'm just saluting and saying, yes, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. I love you so much.
Mm-hmm. God, I really just...
Fumitan rules.
I love Fumitan character. I feel like every time I see a character I like, I just point at them and say character design in a lab for me to like. But like character design in a lab for me to like.
Mm-hmm. So true.
I like her. She's nice.
Mika, Atra, and Kudelia are lunch delivery gang. They turn on their fucking DoorDash app.
Yes.
And they travel all over Isaribi delivering lunch. We have little character vignettes.
While they're about to go deliver lunches, they run into Kudelia, who just left the meeting, and Kudelia's like, "Hey, Mika, why weren't you in that meeting?" And Mika is just like the Bengals kicker who watched the halftime show instead of like going into the locker room to listen to what the coach had to say, because she's like, "I just want to watch Eminem perform "Lose Yourself." I don't really have a mind for strategy.
Yeah, I just want to think about mom's spaghetti. He's just like, yeah, I wouldn't understand it anyway. It's fine.
Listen. I need to see Dre. I need to hear California Love with my own 2 ears. But like, listen, if Mika needs me to kill, I'll kill. I don't need to know about the strategy. I don't need to know about this politics, this overarching strategy.
He doesn't. Look at him. He's a nice boy.
Yeah.
So we deliver Akihiro's lunch first, and all Akihiro says is that he wants to train in the simulator with Mika later. Simulator's cool. We'll see that more.
We also see all the baby children who are like working on rearranging one of the rooms.
Yeah. They do mention Atra didn't even realize until now, I think, that they're taking Kudelia to Earth, because Atra's like, we're going to Earth. Fuck, my clothes aren't cool enough for Earth.
Right. The fact that Atra just didn't know about going to Earth, because this entire conversation is like, Mikazuki's like, why are you going to Earth anyways? And Atra's like, we're going to Earth! I don't want to eat a pumpkin!
I don't have any Abercrombie and Fitch to wear, god damn it!
No! Oh, poor Atra.
I left my Jinkos at home.
I left my drip at home!
This is when Kudelia explains to the kids and everyone else that she's negotiating with Arbrow. And the leader of Arbrow agreed to have talks on this, so she is doing this to get true economic independence.
After the Calamity War, 4 economic blocks were created after the end of the war, and similarly to the Spheres of Power division that happened in the aftermath of World War One of the world wars had a major division of power of some of these countries, and we're just like, yeah, okay, we won a war, so now we own you. And so the outer spheres like Mars and Jupiter were divided among these blocks.
Yeah. Specifically, we see a map as this happens. And Arbrow is essentially in charge of like Canada and Russia and like bits of Northern Europe, I think.
Mm-hmm. And so it's the Franco-Russo not Franco. That would be France.
Yeah. It's the
Russo-Canadian division.
The Russo-Canadian Alliance, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And like Atra like claps after she gives this whole speech, and like no one else really gets it.
It's so cute.
She cares her, and I care her too.
As they're delivering lunch to the mechanics, Mikazuki says, "What's up? I'm Mikazuki. I'm 19 and I never fucking learned how to read." And Kudelia's like, "Wait, how do you drive that robot without being able to read?" And Mikazuki's like, "I don't fucking need to know what a letter is to kick good."
Yeah, exactly. Like. Hold on. Craig, join.
Oh, Craig said I'm out?
Craig's like, I don't know how to read either. Fuck this.
Thanks. Thank you, Craig.
But yeah, essentially, like, Kudelia is going to teach people how to read, and Atra's going to help.
Yeah.
It's nice.
She initially offers it to Mikazuki, but then a bunch of the kids are like, Miss Kudelia, will you show us?
Mm-hmm. Please.
We get the episode title, and then when we come back from the episode title screen, Orga's just like looking at some Taiwa's information. Fumatan asks him if he needs help, and he's just like, I gotta bounce. You chill here for a bit? And she's like, well, yeah, okay.
She kind of like stares at the screen he was looking at, like sort of suspiciously, but again, she like realized that he's trying to contact the fucking Yakuza, so she has a right to be suspicious, I suppose.
Yeah. We cut to some old fuck who's huffing a stogie and saying R.I.P.
Yeah, that's noblest, who cares?
He's doing R.I.P. Bozo pack watch about Koro.
Yeah! Let's go Mets, love to Mets. That's noblest.
That is Noblesse. Okay, yeah, I hadn't seen Noblesse outside of the sauna.
Yeah, so he's in his office, and he's like kind of like bemused, thinking about how Tekadon is more competent than CGS at taking care of Kudelia.
Here's Noblesse talking about Coral.
Yeah. God.
I think about this gif at all fucking time. It's just the ESPN Sports guy just smoking a fat fucking cigar and
rest in peace, you won't be missed.
Rest in peace, you won't be missed. Rip Bozo.
Rip Bozo. Next up is like you mentioned the episode summary. This is when Ein asked to be join the Blowjob Brothers attack force.
Yeah.
I love that, like, and after he asked McGillis a favor to join the pursuit force. And McGillis like, yeah, sure, whatever. And he runs off, and McGillis even thinks to himself, Gundam, huh? Like, all right, Snake, calm down.
Huh, Gundam.
He says it in a very similar cadence too. Like, McGillis has a different voice than I would have imagined him to have on the dub. It's a little like not raspier, but like it's a little bit more nasally than I would expected from McGillis. So he does get a little David Hatery sometimes.
It's Ash Pokemon staring at the ceiling and saying, Pokemon.
So true. My next note is Mika get iPad.
We get like a long scene of Mikazuki and Takaki and a couple other kids reading, right? Well,
Mika get iPad.
Mikazuki is not very good at writing because he spells his name Mikasu backwards K-E, but it's so cute.
It's comedy. It's so nice. And like one of the kids is like all up, feeling himself. He's like, oh, I wrote my name and you can't, and you pilot the Gundam and I'm not even anyone. Like, and Takaki like is like, hey, fuck you. Like Takaki is like on it after this. Cause he's like, we learned Takaki's like the oldest of the young kids, as it were. Like he's the one in charge of all of like the younger part of Tekadon. So he's the one who's like has to be the sort of like mentor example for them. It's nice. Mm-hmm. I like Takaki a lot. He's fun.
Yeah, me too. I liked them better when I thought they were a girl. But you know what? They still can be.
Alas.
They still can be. Give it a couple years. If they make it.
Orga meets with Biscuit, who's like, hey, Orga, this planet fucking sucks, dude. I don't want to meet with the Yakuza. We don't know anyone there, and you're just going to waltz in? And Orga's like, yeah?
What other option do we have? Like, there's... And Orga explains that like he's being watched by Mikazuki and feels that he has no way but forwards. And this is so fucking gay. Like he says, Mika's eyes ask me, "What are we doing next? What do you want? God. What do you want me to do, Orga? What exciting thing will you show me next? I can't betray those eyes. I in his eyes, I must always be the boldest. I have to be the coolest, Orga Itsuka." And it's so gay.
Like the entire time Orga's talking, we see like overlaid Mika's just intense eyes, and like just his face darkened, staring into the camera, and I'm just like, damn, Orga, I think you're in love with Mikazuki.
Yeah, you are in love. Palisades.
You are in love. Taylor Swift song.
Love. Palisades.
That too. And like Mika meets with Orga later. Like they kind of run into each other on the ship after Orga talks with Biscuit about all that. Mm-hmm. And Orga asks him, because Orga like saw Mika in the room where he's like learning how to read and write. And, Orga asks Mika why he's doing that. And Mika just says he wants to run a farm one day. He wants to learn about vegetables and work on mobile suits and like
he wants to read books and study vegetables. And he wants to run a farm like Biscuit's grandma. And I'm like just fucking crying over this.
It's it's so good. And like once again, it's like Orga is like redoubled of like, I need to like keep up with this fucking wonder kid. Oh my god, I'm out of my depth.
Yeah.
I love it.
Both of them look at each other and like, hey bud, you look a little tired. And We'll just keep, and then Orga says, we'll just keep going to the bitter end, right? We finally found our place.
Our place.
We got to Kudelia, who's looking at the AV system on one of the kids' back while she's teaching them. And the kid's like, isn't it epic? I can do so much hard work with this. It hurt a little bit, but maybe I'll have it done again.
This is not epic. This is not epic. This is not epic.
Hello, base department. I have some troubling news.
Yeah. Like, she's just like, taken aback at his, like, barbarity, essentially.
Yeah.
But, the kid thinks it's fucking badass. This is the reality for them. Maybe not good.
Yeah. Orga and Mikazuki do a little handshake, and Orga says, I am who I am. Let's make Tekadon big. And then an alarm klaxon goes off. Another ship has sent a stop signal, and Maruba shows up on the fucking, like, main screen turn on. All your ship are belong to me. Please send the Will-O-Wisp back. I need it.
He's, like, just demanding it back, and, like, the episode ends with that shocking, hey, Maruba's here. Let's kick his ass now.
Yeah, Maruba shows up, give me that shit.
Mine. Not yours, mine.
Mine. I own that.
That's episodes.
That's episodes.
It's progressing. We're gonna get some cool stuff. Next episode's called Wailing, I believe, which will be fun.
I'm excited. We're getting into the shit.
I can't wait. I want to say the next set of episodes is when Gundam, it will give you its take on polyamory.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll certainly have a lot to discuss.
I'm terrified of this.
We'll see. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Max.
I mean.
Oh, go on.
Yes. No, we're gonna.
I was just gonna ask who the robot of the week is.
Well, before that.
Okay.
I have a little segment we can do.
Sure.
This is something I stole from Dan from Pot of Greed, because sometimes it's fun to just talk about voice actors and learn what the fuck else they've been in.
Yes.
So it is time now for a Beyond Toon World.
Hell yeah.
You're going to love this. Trust me. Beyond Toon World!
Are you going to be hitting me with the English or the Japanese voice actors?
So I will be hitting you with the English. If you look through the Japanese and you find someone you want to talk about, by all means, bring the heat. But like, each week we can like highlight one of the different voice actors, and I want to highlight the only one that I actually knew was an English voice actor going in, which is Johnny Young Bosch, who's the voice of Orga. So a little bit of background here. Johnny Young Bosch, born January 6, 1976 in Kansas City, Missouri. His first role was in 1994 as Adam Park, the Black Power Ranger. And this is a fucked up little fact. Saban made him change his stage name to Yong, which is part of his mother's name, because Saban wanted his credited name to seem more Asian.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Saban. What the fuck? But he kept it, and he later became the Green Ranger, and I think he cameoed in like future Power Ranger series. He was like, the Black Ranger was like the fucking coolest guy in the world back in the day.
Sorry,
it's good.
I'm just laughing at a thing that I found out about Mikazuki's Japanese voice. Go on, you finish your end, but I've got a couple of fun things for Mikazuki's voice actor.
Okay. I wrote down like every notable thing. So here's the thing. Sometimes I'll find a voice actor on behindthevoiceactors.com, my favorite website. And like Johnny Young Bosch is I think 6 in the world when I checked him. So he has like a lot of notable roles.
That
and
sounds
like
right.
I'll write down a good amount of like anime that you or I or the audience would recognize. So this isn't going in dub order. This is going in like the order they were released in.
Sure.
So he wasn't active in 1989, but he did dub Kaneda in 1989's Akira.
Good for him.
Like he's done a lot. So let's see. And again, the years are the years the show came out, not the years he dubbed them. 1995, Sailor Moon. He was Artemis, the white cat, who's Sailor Venus's cat. Yeah. 1997, Neon Genesis Evangelion. He's Toji Suzuhara.
Toji? What?
He's Toji. Isn't that fucked up?
I fucking love Toji. Wait!
Toji rules.
Make sure it hurts.
That's Johnny Young Bosch. 2000's Trigun. He's Vash the Stampede.
Hell yeah.
I will always highlight other Gundam roles that people have been in. In 2004 in Gundam Seed, he was Dirka Elsman, who I think also shows up in Seed Destiny. Hear that series is bad. Can't wait. 2004's One Piece, he's Sabo. In 2004's Paranoia Agent, he's Yuichi Tara.
Okay.
Let's see. 2005, what fucking show? I didn't even write down what show this was. Naruto, of course. 2005's Naruto. He was Genma Shiranui.
2005's Naruto.
2005's Naruto. In 2006, Eureka 7, he was Renton Thurston. 2006 Bleach, he was a little guy known as Ichigo.
Okay.
He was Ichigo Bleach. In 2006, this is Bo. He's a character called Bo Jiggler.
Hell yeah.
I don't
Bo
like
Jiggler.
it.
No, I love the name Bo Jiggler. Are you kidding?
That's some shit you buy at Bojangles.
Hell yeah.
In 2006 .hack GU games, he was Kun. In 2007's Warriors Orochi, in like every fucking like the Sengoku Basara games, every one of those Warriors type games, he was Sanada Yukimura, who's a real Japanese warlord, but you know, he's anime-fied. We love it. Starting in 2008, Devil May Cry 4, and in 5 in the future games, he's Nero.
Hell
We
yeah.
love Nero and his cool fucking Mega Man arm.
He's epic.
2008's Code Geass, he's Lelouch.
Oh yeah, Johnny Young Bosch has just fucking done it all.
He's done it all. In 2008's Gurren Lagann, he was Rosyu. Let's see. Hey, this I didn't realize this. 2008's little game called Persona 4. He was both the main character Yu and Adachi.
That's funny. That's
funny. It's quite funny. I mean, I guess Yu doesn't really have lines per se. So
no, he just says
sure.
Persona
in Orca's voice. In 2009's Dissidia Final Fantasy and all the future Final Fantasy games featuring beloved protagonist of Final Fantasy II, he was Firion, who's the main boy of Final Fantasy II. In 2009's Naruto Shippuden, he was Sasori. Starting in 2010 with the introduction of Yang in Street Fighter 4. I mean, he was, like I said, he's Yang. He's Yang in all the future Street Fighters that Yang shows up in. I don't even know if Yang shows up in that much.
No, Yang was like a third strike edition. I think he went with his brother, whose name I can't. I don't think it's like. Is it actually just Yang? Is that just like Yin and Yang? It's not that.
I don't think so. I mean, Street Fighter does some weird shit with the names, but I don't know if they've gone like that.
Yun. It's Yun.
Okay, yeah. 2011, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and later in Infinite, he's Zero from Mega Man.
Hell yeah.
2013's Blue Exorcist, he was Yukio Okumura. In 2013's Pokemon Origins, he's Brock, which is like the Pokemon Red sort of OVA thing they made.
Hell yeah.
That was fun. 2014's Danganronpa 2, he was Hajime Hinata.
Yeah, that sounds right.
This one's fucking wild. 2015, little show called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He was Jonathan Joestar.
Jonathan Joestar, my favorite.
Mr. Joestar.
2015's
2015's Yokai Watch. He's Nate Adams, who's just the main character of Yokai Watch. That's a fun little game. Very weird.
Yeah.
Hack your 3DS. Play Yokai Watch, I guess. Who cares? 2015's Free. He was Makoto Tachibana. Remember Free, Sarah?
I do remember Free. Yeah, I do.
Who could forget? Obviously, 2016 Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, he's Orga. Also, 2016 Gundam Thunderbolt, he's Daryl Lorenz, who's the main Xeon character of Thunderbolt. In 2016 Digimon Tri, he's TK.
Love TK.
He's TK, or rather Takeru Takaishi, of course.
My son.
Starting in 2016, and in all future roles, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, he's Broly.
Oh, that is
which
him,
is
huh?
Fucking wild. 2018's Pop Team Epic Dub, he was Popoko.
Hell yeah, bud.
2018's Bungo Stray Dogs, he was Shirase. In 2019's Demon Slayer, he was Giyu Tomioka.
Oh.
And finally, for Elliot, who I'm sure can hear me saying this, in 2019's Promare, the dub, he's Leo.
Hell yeah. My list of Kawanishi Kengo, who is the voice of the Japanese voice of Mikazuki August. It's smaller because a lot of his credits are like, he was in Naruto Shippuden as Gentleman Cat, Townspeople.
Yeah, sure.
But just going through this briefly because I forgot that this was a segment we're doing. I got a couple of good grabs for you here. For example, from from 2016, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable, Terunosuke Miyamoto, who you may not remember by name, but you certainly remember his stand Enigma for putting a gun in a paper.
That's right. I was like racking my brain trying to figure out which fucking stand user that guy was.
Miyamoto, one of the least memorable names in that. Well,
yeah, he was one of like the 4 guys from like the July 12th
right, because
episodes.
it's him, it's Jonkin Boy, it's Cheap Trick, and who's the 4th one on that day? I don't remember.
No, it's not even Jonkin Boy. Jonkin Boy was his own episode.
Really?
It was it's
Enigma?
what's the biker guy?
Yuya.
It's Yuya Fungami.
No, Yuya was his own episodes also. Yuya had Highway Star was 2 episodes.
Damn.
Cheap Trick though, for sure.
It was Cheap Trick. It was God, what was it?
Scott, the fucking fly.
Oh, Superfly.
Yes. But to keep going, Kosuke Sakaki from Run with the Wind. You may remember him as the evil red-haired boy. I did not remember him by his name, but I did know him when I see him. From 2019, from Dr. Stone, the one and only Gen. Which is very interesting to know that that's him, because that's a very that's an extremely expressive role, and I guess just I would not expect him to be as disaffected as Mikazuki is at all times in his life, but it's just a very dynamic range between Mikazuki and Gen. Ritsu Soma from Fruits Basket, who I did not encounter when I watched Fruits Basket, but I just googled the character and I do like their look. They look cute. And lastly, which I only bring up because of the name, in 2020, in the second season of ReZero, Starting Life in Another World, he played a character named Lai Batenkaitos.
Hey, that's a GameCube video game.
It's Batenkaitos.
It's my friend Batenkaitos from GameCube. Tremendous. Good shit. Good shit.
But now, Max.
What a fun.
Now, Max, who's the robot of the week?
My robot of the week, Sarah. So as we're recording this February 17th, the summer of gaming is upon us.
Yes.
Horizon Forbidden West comes out. Not going to give that game my full seal of approval because, again, there's some weird racial issues.
I've been thinking about this all day, and I will not get too deep into this, but I've been thinking a lot about, because with this game coming out, I've been going back and I read an article or two of covering the reaction from people about the Native American appropriation in that first game, and their really, frankly, weak response to it. And I just obviously, based on the way they responded, I could tell they did not learn anything. They did not intend to change anything. If you held a gun to them, they would have been we can't change it. We already set all the designs in stone.
We were promised to learn and grow. Blah blah blah.
But to call the next game Forbidden West is just really,
come on. There wasn't a better name you could think of,
right? Could you have not a little bit less, maybe? Anyway, sorry, go on. To be clear, I'm not coming at this from a perspective of being a hater. I'm just, I liked that game quite a lot. I sunk 60 hours into it. It's one of the few platinum trophies that I have, but
it's a fun game that is worth all the criticism that it draws.
Very much so.
My robot of the week.
Isn't Lance Reddick?
Lance Reddick's in it. Yeah, he's Silence.
Yeah, okay.
And Carrie Ann Moss and Angela Bassett are in the new one too.
Ashley Burch in the first one.
And the second one, yeah, she's Aloy.
Yeah, she's Aloy.
But my robot of the week is the Humble Watcher, who's just a little guy with a big old eyeball, and if you shoot him in the eyeball, he dies in one hit, but he's a cute little machine dinosaur.
I love the Watcher so much.
I have a little Funko Pop of him. It's a little fun figure. Did you see the fucking Horizon Zero Dawn tall neck Lego set that they just revealed, Sarah?
No, I didn't. You mean the things that the Assassin's Creed Tower robots?
Yes. In May, they are making a Lego of it.
Ooh.
And it comes with an Aloy minifigure and a little Watcher as well.
Oh, that's cute.
It's really cute, and I'm going to buy it, and I'll DM it to you later. It fucking rules. That's my robot of the week. It's the Humble Watcher.
Hell yeah.
That's episode. Let's do plugs. Sarah, where can we find you on the internet?
I do too many fucking podcasts. You can listen to me on a bunch of other great noise-based.xyz products, such as Forward ReZero. It's a ReZero podcast that I do with former hosts of this show, Morg, and my girlfriend, Neve. We just wrapped up the first half of the first season. It's a good show. I also do Special Grade Snacks with friend of the show, friend of the me, Kay. That's a Jujutsu Kaisen watch-along podcast that is going to be updating soon because movie is coming out. And I'm excited to see it. If we've got, I think we did 13, 14 episodes. It's good. I liked it. I like that show so much that it became a permanent obsession for the next 3 months. I'm still pretty deep in the mines, but I'm not as deep as I was back then. Fear Baiting, my horror movie podcast that I've done for 6 fucking years. It's too long. You can listen to it's horror movies. I do that pretty much every week. Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die, a politics podcast that's infrequently updated, and the Wonder Years and Animorphs podcast that is updated, also infrequently updated. And you can follow me on Twitter at SunHatZhenya, SunHitzhenya. Sorry about all the plugs. I got too many things going on.
No, it's good. I mean, everything's linked in the description as well for those who want to click and follow the links, and you should. I'm Max. You can go to Twitter at MaxyBajillion to find me. My other shows include Pot of Greed, which is the world's #1 and only Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast sponsored by Kaiba Corp. We're not recording an episode on GX this week. Instead, for our Patreon, we're doing Krugio, where we will watch a Fast and the Furious movie mostly every month until we get them all. Car, go free, I live my life a quarter mile at a time, etc. You can also find me at Slappers Only, a video game music showdown podcast. We just kind of forgot to record for the last several weeks, but we will be doing a Mario Odyssey episode eventually when Jordan and I.
We're all busy.
We're all busy. There's so much shit to do. It's 2022. No one has time for anything anymore. It's the year of the podcaster.
Right.
And you can also tune into Nevermind the Trollocs, which is an Amazon Wheel of Time rewatch podcast. Our mailbag episode should be going up maybe within a week or so of this episode going up, which will be the final episode until season 2 drops in a year or two or whenever the hell. Big asterisk on that, but that's all of it. And of course, you can find You can find all of our shows at noisepace.xyz. Thank you, Matt GameCube, for running that website. Podcasting is forever.
Hell yeah. Love Matt.
Love Matt. Love the GameCube. And that'll do it for us. Thank you all for tuning in. Next week, as always, 3 more episodes of IBO. Be there or be square. And Sarah, as we always say to end our podcast, war is bad.
Wow, cool robot.
Cool robot. Oh, all right. See you next week, gamers.
Bye.
In the skies above Mars. Whoa.
Whoa.
That was dumb.